The top story this half hour, the Department of Transport says that about 1,547 vehicles are going through the Kranskop toll plaza per hour on the N1 in Limpopo. This as thousands of motorists have started travelling back from ZCC's Moria headquarters, as several traffic officers have also been deployed at major roads, specifically on the R71 and the N1 to control traffic. About 9 people have already lost their lives this weekend in the province. For an update, we're now joined by our reporter Mike Maringa. Very good evening to you, Mike, from our side. Essentially over 1,500 vehicles that have already passed that plaza. Just take us through what the traffic is now as it stands.
Good evening, Chantal, and good evening to our viewers. You are indeed correct that it was a busy day in Polokwane as we look at the traffic that was in Moria. In the afternoon, we spoke to the MEC for Roads and Transport in the province, Mayor Makurupecha, who indicated that they had plans in place to make sure that today they will start directing traffic as early as 2 o'clock. That was the agreement they had with the church. But unfortunately, that did not happen. As I speak to you now, I can confirm that the church only finishes about an hour ago. As you can see behind me, there are lights there. Those are buses and traffic vehicles that are coming from Moria. And I must also indicate that where we are, it's a road called the Tsanin bypass, the R71, that links Polokwane to Moria. This is it's normally a dual traffic lane, but I can tell you now that the road where we are now has been closed for traffic. It's only one traffic on the R101, N1 to Kranskop and Nail Plaza to Gauteng and all other destinations where members of ZCC are going. We must also indicate that it was a busy day for traffic officers because the Polokwane traffic officers have been camping here for the past 2 days. They were under this bridge on the R71 road where they were directing traffic into Moria. I must also indicate again that the number of vehicles that are passing here can only translate to traffic at the toll gates. We're talking of Nail Plaza, we're talking of Kranskop, we're talking of Pumulani. Those are the toll gates that you find between Polokwane and Pretoria. So as it is now, we still have a lot of buses that are still stuck in Moria that are expected to use this route. It will be very difficult for traffic officers because they will be forced to be here because the agreement or the arrangement was such that traffic will leave at 2 o'clock and it was expected to subside around 8 o'clock in the evening. So you can imagine if they only finished now, they will be here up until the wee hours of the morning because ZCC is one of the biggest church in South Africa and they have members from all over. Buses, vehicles have been passing through here, Chantal.
It's already been updated that over the weekend already 9 people have lost their lives, specifically on this stretch of road in the province. Can you take us through an update of whether there have been any other major incidents that have been reported?
Yeah, it's indeed correct that 9 people have died. Those were stats as of last night. But we must also indicate that as compared to the previous year in 2017, in the very same period, there were about 37 accidents where 19 people lost their lives. If we compare it to this year, they have recorded 20 accidents where 9 people have died. But the major problem that is still experienced in the province is pedestrians who are dying on the roads, who are trying to cross these busy roads. The MEC for Transport indicated in the afternoon when we spoke to her that they had a cleansing ceremony on the very same road that leads to Moria because this is one road that has recorded a lot of fatalities. This is where most accidents are recorded in Limpopo because it's quite a busy road. It stretches all the way past Moria and in Palabura up to the border gate. So you can imagine why it is so busy, and it was so important for the department to see to it that they deploy enough traffic officers on the road. We have also seen them on the other side towards N1 South. There are a lot of traffic officers who have been deployed there to see to it that people drive carefully and they follow all the rule draws, Chantal.
In terms of speaking of the MEC of Transport as well as other road authorities, just take us through police visibility in the area.
Yeah, as I've indicated before, if you can check behind us, there are traffic officers there. It's a joint operation. It's a joint operation between the Polokwane traffic officers, the provincial traffic officers, and the national traffic officers are here. They are the ones who have closed this road. So visibility is there. You can in all the major roads, not only the one that leads to Moria. We have seen them on the N1 between Polokwane and Lutrigad all the way to Musina. But this one was a priority for the weekend because of the high number of vehicles that were expected in Moria. And as I've said before, there are still a lot of buses that are still remaining that are yet to drive through. So it looks like traffic officers and police are going to work around the clock to ensure that all the motorists who are supposed to be using the roads in Limpopo get to their destination safe and sound. Shante.
As important as it is for police and authorities to play their role, it is also important for motorists to play their role and drive safely on the roads and adhere to all the road regulations. Can you just describe the characteristics of the motorists on this road?
When we were here this morning, there was an incident of a man who was arrested last night for driving under the influence of alcohol. His car was left here, was taken to the police cells. That is just one of the examples of what people are still doing, despite the call for them as motorists to refrain from drinking and driving, but they still do it. It is very difficult for police to deal with such people. But as of now, we don't have stats whether there are any vehicles that were taken that were impounded, in fact. So what we know for sure is that the visibility is assisting in that most of them are trying to drive, but what we have seen is that people only drive cautiously when they see traffic lights, like it's the case where we are standing. People are driving very fast, but because down the road there are traffic officers, that's where they start braking a little bit and reduce their speed levels. Let's hope that they will do what they are supposed to do while they are heading towards different destinations. Shante.
Definitely. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Mike Maringa on the ground for SABC in Limpopo.